Hi children, I feel really very happy to meet you all in this video class. Well, we speak about women empowerment. Today we see that women are in many sectors. Women are given equality and they are given equal rights. Let us say why this drastic change has happened. These changes are because of our social reformers. Undoubtedly, we should accept that these changes in women are brought only through the social reformers. Well, India is a secular country where we see there is a freedom of religion that has been given to every people. And in India, we practice many religion. There are also religious reformers whom we could say that only because of them that the religion has been modified into a well-framed structure. Well, children, today we are moving to our Unit 5 of our history, Social and Religious Reform Movement in the 19th century. When we get into this lesson, our lesson has been classified into 4 subtopics. Like first, we are going to see about the early reform movement in Bengal. We are also going to see about the Hindu revivalism. The third topic of us is the Islamic reforms, and the last topic of our lesson is social reformers of Tamil Nadu. Before I get into my class, let me tell you what is called as social reforms. Well, transform the world. Okay, what is called social reforms? The social reforms transform the world that we live in and help to provide equal opportunity to most of the individuals. Only with the social reforms, we could see that every individual, get their equal opportunity. The second definition that I have given here, the meaning I have given here is, a social reform refers to any attempt that seek to correct any injustice in the society. We also see here, the social reform plays a major role in bringing up or in giving the proper equality to the people and correcting if there is any injustice in the society. We are going to see a few of the words which often repeats in your lesson. So you can also refer your book. The foremost word in this lesson we see is reform. So what is called as reform? Reform means improve. It also can be said to change a system, either the law or the order, and to make it better. That is what we call it as the reform. So reform means improve. And the other word that you come across in this lesson is revival. So what is called as revival? The act of becoming or making something strong or popular again and again is called as the revival. So there will be the concept that exists already. What is then called as revival? We are going to make it better. That is what we call it as the revival. And the next word that you often come, our title of the lesson is this, I have already told you, Social and Religious Reform Movement in the 19th century. When we talk about religious reform, what is called as religious reform? Religious reform was a prerequisite for social reforms, and we can also say our Hindus and Muslims were influenced by the religious tenets. Here, the religious tenets means the principles that has been followed by the Hindus and the Muslims. Well, children, getting into the class, we are going to see the social and the religious reform movement. You can ask me a question. When did this actually started? This social and religious reform movement came into the minds of the people during the later 18th century and the early of the 19th century. There can be a question arised. How did all of a sudden people get an idea or people think about they need a change either in the society or in the religion? This is because of the arrival of the British. As soon as the British came into India, they started to introduce a new religion which is called as Christianity. Along with Christianity, we could also see that when we talk about the Western ideas of the people who came, the British introduced the Western ideas and Western education. So automatically, the Christianity religion was also brought by the British to India. And what has actually happened is there are a lot of people who start getting converted. The Hindus and the Muslims started to get converted to the Christianity. This automatically defamed Hinduism and Islam. I can explain you why there was a change from Hinduism or either Muslim to Christianity, because Christianity was simple. It gave equal opportunity to the people, and it also started many schools and hospitals and also gave service to the people. So all these salient features of Christianity started to attract the Hindus as well as the Muslims. So we could see that there were a lot of people of Hindus and Muslims started to get automatically converted to the Christianity. And the main reason was also this: in Hinduism, the upper caste of Hindus were allowed to educate. We could see that why did people get converted? The Hindu people started to get converted to the Christianity is because of this. We could see that the upper caste of the Hindus were alone allowed to educate themselves, where the lower section of the people of Hinduism lacked the education. So the Christianity spread among the society. We could also say the followers of Hinduism started to take the impression for its defame. The people who were there in Hinduism also started to think, why people getting migrated from either Hinduism or to Christianity? They started to take the reason for the defame for the change. And Muslims also had to make the change in their customs and traditional practices. So as Hindus and Muslims saw that there were majority people getting converted to the Christianity, they took the reason for the defame of their religion, and they also started to make reforms. That is what we are going to see in this lesson. The social and the religious reform movement fall under two broad categories, that is the reformist movements and the revivalist movement. When we talk about the reformist movement, we have the Brahma Samaj, we also have the Pratana Samaj and the Aligarh movement. When we talk about the revivalist, it is Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission and the Deoband movement. I already explained previously about what is called as reform. Reform means to improve. Then what is called as revival? Revival means bringing up the glory, okay, bringing up the essence, the real essence that has been present in the either the religion or the movement. Okay, so again I am explaining the movement. When we talk about the movements, it is classified into two. One is the reformist movement, another one is the revivalist movement. When talk about reformist movement, we are going to see about the Brahma Samaj, Pratana Samaj and Aligarh movement. Revivalist movement, we are going to talk about the Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission and the Deoband movements. Moving to our first topic, we are going to talk about the early reform movement in Bengal. When we talk about the reform movement, the person that we get to our mind is Ram Mohan Roy, okay, and his Brahma Samaj. Well, Ram Mohan Roy or Raja Ram Mohan Roy, so called, okay, he was herald of new age and his name is Ram Mohan Roy. He has been given the title Raja by Akbar the Great, the Mughal Emperor. Ram Mohan Roy is also called as the father of Indian Renaissance. You would have studied in your 9th standard about Renaissance. Again, what is called as Renaissance? Revival or rebirth. So, Raja Ram Mohan Roy is considered to be as the father of Indian Renaissance. Here we have the picture of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. When we talk about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, what we get into our mind, the three most important things, okay, of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. The first one is Sati. You have been learning in your 6th, 7th, 8th standard classes about Sati. And child marriage. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, 1772 to 1833, is a great scholar. He is also well versed in many languages. And the main motto or what was being opposed by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. First one is, he opposed the meaningless religious ceremonies. He did not like the meaningless religious ceremony which existed in Hinduism. Second, we could say social customs. And third, very important, is he opposed sati, child marriage and polygamy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was highly influenced by monotheism. What is called as monotheism? Worship of one God is called as monotheism. And he was also influenced by anti-idolatry. He was also deeply concerned about the social reforms because he felt that only the social reforms could bring the complete transformation of the society. He advocated widow remarriage. His campaign played a key role in forcing Governor General William Bentinck's legislature abolition of sati in 1829. So you children, whenever we speak about Rajaram Mohan Roy, the first thing that gets into your mind is he is the person, one who have taken initiation along with the Governor General William Bentinck, and he abolished the practice of sati. Okay, in the year 1829, you are getting it as a 1 mark question, so you can refer your book at the back. He also strongly advocated education for women. He also gave full support for the introduction of English language and Western science in schools and colleges, because he was very firm, he was very strong, and he made his ideas very clear that change could happen in the society only by the introduction of education to everyone. Brahma Samaj. So Rajaram Mohan Roy started, in order to bring all his views to the public or to the people or to the society, he need a Samaj to be started. So he brought a Brahma Samaj. The founder is Rajaram Mohan Roy, and he founded this Brahma Samaj on 20th August 1828. What he has done, a lot of social reforms and as well a lot of religious reforms were being started in this Brahma Samaj. He opened a temple at Calcutta with no image worship. I already told you in my previous slide, we could say that, like we saw, he was anti-idolatry, like he did not want any image worship. So after starting the Brahma Samaj, he opened a temple at Calcutta with no image worship. Brahma Samaj attracted the intellectuals but failed to attract the lower section of the people or the society. So that was the only drawback we could see in the Brahma Samaj, because all the principles, okay, which was told in the Samaj was accepted only by the intellectuals. It reached only the intellectuals. But the major part, when we talk about the 18th and the 19th century, the major portion of the people are from the lower section of the society. The Samaj ideas, okay, did not attract so much to the lower section of the society. We are moving to our topic, Maharishi Devendranath Tagore. Maharishi Devendranath Tagore, 1817 to 1905. After the death of Rajaram Mohan Roy, the work of Brahma Samaj was carried by Maharishi Devendranath Tagore. The name would be familiar to you children, because Maharishi Devendranath Tagore is none other than the father of Ravindranath Tagore. He was a moderate reformer too. You are getting this question in 2 marks. The 4 articles of faith, okay, which was introduced by Maharishi Devendranath Tagore. The first one, he says that there is only one supreme being alone existed who created the complete universe. He alone is God of truth, infinite wisdom, goodness and power. Salvation depends on belief in him. And the fourth one, he said, belief consists in loving him and doing his will. So again I repeat, this is your 2-mark question, where there is a question asked, 4 articles of faith, okay, which was emphasized by Maharishi Devendranath Tagore. The picture here shows Keshab Chandra Sen. Keshab Chandra Sen is also a reformer from Bengal. He joined the movement in 1857. He brought a rapid changes in Brahma Samaj. And we could also see when Keshab Chandra Sen came into the Brahma Samaj was split, okay, in the year 1866. So what has happened? Keshab Chandra Sen left the Samaj and he joined Devendranath's organization, and he also called it as the Adi Brahma Samaj. Now what is the reason? Why did Keshab Chandra Sen left the Brahma Samaj and he joined the Devendranath's organization and he renamed it and called it as Adi Brahma Samaj? Is because Keshab Chandra Sen's daughter was married at the age of 14 against the Samaj, because Rajaram Mohan Roy was a strong person, one who opposed the child marriage. When Keshab Chandra Sen's daughter got married at the age of 14, he automatically got violated the Samaj principles. So then his opponents left the Brahma Samaj and started the Sadharan Samaj. Here we have the picture of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, 1820 to 1891. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is the revivalist of Hinduism. He is the reformer from Bengal. He arranged that Hindu scriptures were progressive. Okay, again the topic revivalist. So students, I've already told you what is called as revivalist of Hinduism. Here we could see correctly, like Keshab Chandra Sen, he says that none of the Hindu scriptures have been sanctioned for burning widows or for the prohibition of remarriage of the Hindus. He was also the pioneer of modern Bengali prose. He played a major role for giving education for girls and also setting up of many schools. He dedicated his whole life for the betterment of child widows of Hindu society. As a result of the meticulous work of Keshab Chandra Sen, it resulted in Widow Remarriage Reform Act in the year 1856. So, when we talk about Keshab Chandra Sen, you should always remember the Widow Remarriage Reform Act that was been brought by him in the year 1856. It was also to the credit of Vidyasagar, first age of consent was included in the Indian Penal Code, that is in the year 1860. Just imagine, in the year 1860 the age of the marriage was fixed to 10. And again 1891, between 1891 to 1925, the marriage age has been increased from 10 to 12 to 13 years. We are going to talk about the Pratana Samaj. The Pratana Samaj was founded in Bombay and it was formed in the year 1867. The founder is Dr. Atmaram Panduranga. And there were also two distinguished members, okay, in this Pratana Samaj, the R.C. Bandarkar, Justice Mahadev Govinda Ranade. So these were the two prominent people who were there in the Pratana Samaj. The Pratana Samaj, it is something like the Brahma Samaj. It has also brought a lot of changes in the society, social changes and also changes in the religion. The Pratana Samaj devoted its activities, okay, to intercaste dining. It made all the people to have an intercaste dining, and also the intercaste marriages were being appreciated. The widow remarriage was also emphasized by the Pratana Samaj, and the Pratana Samaj also made a lot of improvement, okay, especially for the women and especially the women in the depressed classes. So, the Pratana Samaj has advocated intercaste dining, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage, improvement of women and the depressed classes. Ranade, who was the founder of Widow Remarriage Association. So, we could here say that M.G. Ranade, he was the founder of Widow Marriage Association in the year 1861, and he also started the Purna Sarvajanik Sabha in the year 1870 and the Deccan Education Society in the year 1884. Children, the Purna Sarvajanik Sabha 1870, you get it in your fill in the blanks as a question. So, it was also started by M.G. Ranade. He also founded the Widow Remarriage Association in the year 1861. Well children, we shall once again see what we have already learnt in this lesson. We saw a lot of reforms, especially we spoke about the importance of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Again, Raja Ram Mohan Roy is called as Herald of New Age, and he is also given the title as Raja by Akbar. You will also get in your one word question, okay, he is also called as the father of Renaissance. And children, we also saw about the revivalist movement. I already told you what is called as reform and what is called as revivalism. Now again we saw about the Brahma Samaj, okay, and its contribution for the social reforms as well as the religious reform. We saw the contribution of Raja Ram Mohan Roy towards our society and especially bringing up the depressed classes in the society in Hinduism. We saw about Maharishi Devendranath Tagore's 4 articles of faith. Okay, I told you already, it comes in your 2-mark question. Can anyone tell me the contribution of Pratana Samaj, or could you tell me what are the Pratana Samaj advocated when we talk about the social and the religious reform? The Pratana Samaj advocated, very good, intercaste dining. Okay, intercaste dining was appreciated by M.G. Ranade, and also intercaste marriages, because the people like M.G. Ranade had a strong opinion when this caste get eradicated, there will be equality which prevails with the individuals. So, he appreciated the intercaste dining, and he also wanted the Pratana Samaj to encourage the intercaste marriage. And when we talk about Ranade, about the Pratana Samaj, we also remember the Widow Remarriage Association, which was started in the year 1861. And the Pratana Samaj also worked for the improvement of women and the most depressed classes. M.G. Ranade, he also started the Purna Swarvajanik Sabha in the year 1870 and the Deccan Education Society in which year? 1884. Very good. So, all these has brought a big change in the society. There were social changes, also there were changes in the religion. We are going to see about Hindu revivalism. I already told you what is called as revival. Revival means making it better, okay, or making it complete, or bringing the real essence which is present in Hinduism. So, we are going to see about Hindu revivalism. You can see the picture. Yeah, the picture of Swami Dayananda Saraswati has started Arya Samaj in the year 1875. Now, what are the positive principles that he brought this Arya Samaj? Strict monotheism, and he also condemned the idolatry. Rejection of Brahmin domination of rituals and social practices. Okay, when we talk about Swami Dayananda Saraswati, he made a Hindu revivalism. So, Hindu revivalism means like bringing up the real essence which is present in the Hinduism. So, he said that the practice of or the domination of the Brahmins, okay, in the rituals as well as in the social practice should be eliminated. He also rejected the superstitious beliefs which present in Hinduism. He said there are many superstitious beliefs which is in Hinduism which is not required. So, he strongly recommended Hinduism, and his main cry was go back to Vedas. He asked the people to read the Vedas again, because the Vedas never advocate for having superstitious beliefs. So, the main cry of the Swami Dayananda Saraswati was go back to Vedas. One main objective was counter conversion. Okay, Swami Dayananda Saraswati was talking about the counter conversion, that is, he is calling all the people who started to get converted into Christianity. Okay, he called everyone back to Hinduism, and he said he called all the people and for the purificatory ceremony which is called as Suddhi, which was directed to Hindus who had converted to Islam as well as to the Christianity. Primary achievement of Arya Samaj, the Arya Samaj also emphasized on the social reforms as well as the spread of education. And we could also say that the Samaj started a number of Dayananda Anglo-Vedic schools and colleges. And we also saw about the contribution which has been done by Keshab Chandra Sen as well Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Well children, shall we move to the question? In which year was Sati abolished? When I talk about Sati, whom you get into your mind? Very good, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. It was only because of the work of Raja Ram Mohan Roy along with Lord William Bentinck, the Sati was abolished in the year 1829. Second question, whose campaign and work led to the enactment of Widow Remarriage Reform Act of 1856? When I talk about Widow Remarriage Reform Act, who gets into your mind? Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Well said. He is the person, one who worked for the widow's remarriage, and not only working, he has also made it as an act to be enacted in the year 1856. Next question. The founder of Pune Swarvajanik Sabha, M.G. Ranade. Very good. He is the founder of Pune Swarvajanik Sabha. Who was the founder of Widow Remarriage Association? See, the question you have to note. The association, every people, every reformers, like I was talking about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, I was talking about Keshab Chandra Sen, and I was also speaking about Devendranath Tagore. So, all these people were working for the reforms, okay, where we see these few made the act to be enunciated, okay, for the people. So, Who was the founder of Widow Remarriage Association? The Widow Remarriage Association was also formed by M.G. Renade. I already told you, Maharishi Devendranath Tagore is a moderate reformer and he is notable for his 4 articles of faith. What are the 4 articles? One supreme being alone existed who created the universe. He said that, okay, there is only one supreme being existed who has created this whole of the universe. And he said that one supreme alone is the God of truth. And he also spoke, there is infinite wisdom, goodness and power which is present with that one supreme being. And the third one is salvation depends on faith in him. You need salvation. Devendranath Tagore says that if you need salvation, you have to depend on the faith in him. And the last articles of faith is belief consists in loving him and doing his will. He said that whatever you wanted, okay, you have to love that one supreme God and also you have to do whatever his wish. So these are the 4 articles of faith. Moving to our next question, children. When did the social and religious reform movement started? Yes, it started in 18th and 19th century. Very good. Now, how did Christianity influence people to get converted? Okay, the major portion of the Hindus and the Islamic people started to get converted into Christianity because for the following reason. One, it was very simple. It gave equal opportunity to all the people where this was lacking in Hinduism. In Hinduism, only very upper class of the people were being able to get their education, where the lower section of the people were ignored. So, the Christianity gave equal opportunity. And the next one we also saw about, it started lot of schools, hospitals, and it also gave service to the people. We have been talking about movement. Yes, children? Yeah. Can you just tell me? I was talking to you about 2 important movement. Yeah, very good. One is the reform movement and the other one is revivalist movement. Okay, can you just tell me what all we saw in the reform movement? We saw about Brahma Samaj, we also saw about the Pratana Samaj and the Aligarh movement. Very good. When I was talking to you about the revivalist movement, what all I was telling you? We saw about the Arya Samaj. We are going to see in our next lesson about the Arya Samaj, the Ramakrishna Mission and the Diobit movement. I hope you enjoyed the class, students. Stay home, stay safe. I shall meet you in my next class. Thank you.